Again, like last week, Frank, on probably the other two games in this competition, you've had to do, both sides of the ball. You've had to do, there's great attack, but also really resolute defence. So, kind of full picture is emerging.
Oh look, it's closest to Test match rugby we'll get. Play all the best players in the world, and in Europe, and you obviously, or in the world if you add South African teams to it, So there's a lot of quality rugby that needs to be played. Your set piece got to be on top. Your both sides of the ball got to be good. And I'm glad to see that progression that we've seen in the last 3 years, for 3.5 years. Since I've been here, we've progressed every year, and I think it was good tonight, both sides of the ball. Yeah.
How much of a boost is it, Franco, to get the top two seeding, to know that you'll have home advantage throughout the rest of the competition as well?
It's only an opportunity if you make use of it. So yes, we will. Last year we gone through the round of 16 and we got hammered in the quarters because I think part of it was a lot of injuries, and we at that stage home advantage would have served us much better than going to hostile places like this competition is. You go and lose. We saw last night. If you go to Aviva, if you go to any of the top teams that we are facing in this competition at home, it's tough, and hopefully Scotstoun, will give us that confidence that we have won a lot of games here as well.
It feels a growing belief amongst the players that you can do something special in the competition this year.
Look, it's now, but there's a break in the competition, so that obviously influences a lot of things. There's so many other challenges to now take in consideration. A lot of the teams going to be involved in the Six Nations. We now have 2 URC games still to manage, of which one I'm sure will be not with all the internationals available, or 3 of them at least. I think Munster, Connacht and Leinster are the 3 games that we will play in the Six Nations. And then we will have to rebuild and put all the building blocks back in, and different challenges. It's good to have the team where they are now. I think they will be in a good position to produce good rugby for Scotland as well.
Did you pick up any injuries tonight, Patrick or Scott, anything like that?
No, Patrick's got an HIA process, He was anyway not going to be involved against Zebre, so it doesn't change much, but it's all a little bit of maintenance, and it was a physical game. So
Well, just on the Scotland aspect there, you obviously handing a lot of the players over in very good nick, good form, spring in their step. Do you expect that will be harnessed by Scotland when they get the Six Nations?
Yeah, look, I'm sure. I don't know how who's gonna add value, or who they're gonna. I mean, it's Finn and everybody that's playing not in our club that's gonna be added. So obviously, I think there's a bit of belief and confidence from our players that hopefully they will rub off on everybody.
And Glasgow have lost a lot of games over the years to Saracens. I don't know whether this feels like a little bit of a shift in the balance of power, that you're really mixing it with like the established sides in the Premiership in England.
Well, the one fortunate thing is that I haven't lost with the Glasgow team against Saracens, so that I haven't played them before. So no, that's tongue in the cheek. I know. So that I don't make a headline either. So no, fortunately I haven't been in that. Yeah, I would think we started off with a journey here to become the best version of ourselves and to compete with the best, and I think the players merit that. The coaching staff, they've worked hard in that belief, and I must compliment them all, the whole playing group, and the backroom staff, the coaches. They've all contributed in building a resilient group that can now look back on arguably the best European Cup campaign up to now for Glasgow Warriors, and we will take that accolade for now. We know that there's a lot more games to come. So humbly appreciate that we have won 4 out of 4 games, and we've got bonus points out of all of them against some of the top teams in the Europe, and that should stimulate the growth and the belief that what we've got here.
Forgive me, you've been asked this loads of times already, but has Europe or Champions Cup been a kind of priority for you this season in any way? And has there been anything special that you've done this year to try and get you where you've got to now?
No, we didn't. We take it 1 week at a time. I've said it to the guys at Sierra often. The difference was this year we played our first home game, our first game in the Europe Cup. The first time since I've been here, we played our first game away from home, and we came back with 5 points, and it obviously changed the view on how we're going to manage the players. And then we ended up beating Toulouse here with 5 points, and then suddenly, another shift. But it was literally taken 1 week at a time. And if somebody asks why we as coaches say that, that's the outcome. If you concentrate on what you can do, what's in front of you more, there's obviously a bigger plan we've planned around the URC and the Six Nations that's involved. Most of the players, all the players at the internationals we have can't play more than 5 games in a row, so it's a bit of a puzzle to build to make sure that we have them in top form. They peak at the right time, and with a limited amount of foreigners that we do have, I thought that the right timing for everything happened.
You could have any number of players in that Scotland clause on Tuesday, which obviously, as you say, brings its own challenges. But for guys maybe who've been on the fringes of that, like Alex Craig, Gregor Hurlstone, they really couldn't have done anything more to put their foot forward, have they?
Yeah, no, I mean we're depleting ourselves. Tongue in the cheek, don't make it on the bit. It is. I'm really, really proud of the players. If they invest and you invest in them, they get accolades for it and selected for Scotland. That's their dream. That's their absolute dream, to play for Scotland, to represent and to play well for Scotland. So super proud of whoever's going to be involved.
Frank, have you got a squad to compete with both competitions, or do you have to prioritise one moving forward?
We'll have to wait and see. I think there's more than you that wants that interesting question to be. No, we've got a plan. We'll see how we can puzzle this. The one benefit of the 2 weeks that we will have with the players that's not involved in the Test match series is that they will reset a little bit. So I think with a condensed schedule, people wouldn't have taken this so much in consideration. But this is arguably the most condensed season ever. You've got a 10-week block without a break now. Between internationals, we had 9. If you include the 4 Test matches in November, we had a block of 5 plus 4 Test matches. Most of our players involved. Then you played 10. Now we've got we played 8 games now consecutively. There's 2 left before the Six Nations. You've got to hand the players back. They're going to play 5 weeks with 5 games with 1 reset week in there. So the more you win in this competition, the less reset time you're going to have, because other teams now will benefit of the fact that they're not in the round of 16 or not in the quarters. So it's going to be tough. We play the quarter. If we are lucky enough to play the quarters, it's the week before we travel South Africa for 2 weeks, and we come back, and if we're lucky enough to play in the semi-final, that's the semi-final. So it's a massive challenge here. But if I look at it that way, we will stumble over the block right in front. So next job, Zebra in the weekend, we're going to try and roll out our best product.
I guess the home thing, that's why it's so important, because it's the least disruption you can have, and you can plan.
You just think if you have to travel on a Friday or on a Saturday, play Sunday, come back, and the next week is so short to prepare, and you're back on the Friday URC game, it will stress the boys even further. So that is arguably one of the best things to keep growing, because you need to be physically improving. Not it's like rugby is like goes with the seasons. When spring comes, everybody's intensity and mindsets change, and they will get more eager. But the bodies must keep track of be able to keep pace with the expectations. So a lot of puzzles to put in place, but eager.